It's been wrong in the past, even at those levels, but I do think it's a sure thing this time.
And I finally had a sure thing.
The stock market was a sure thing.
Sure thing.
Not a sure thing.
Sure thing.
It wasn't a sure thing.
It's a sure thing.
Amen.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Not a sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
I don't think it's a sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Not a sure thing. Sure thing.
Must be a sure thing, but I don't think it's a sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Nature, everybody wants to rule the...
Ah! Jesus. Hello?
Hey, man.
You can't... Oh, mate. I'm glad we delayed.
Why?
I want to make this a whole day's event.
Hey?
I like to make this my full day's activities, like a pensioner.
Yeah, man. I think that's important.
I'm going to post a letter, and then I can wait by the bus stop, and then the bus comes past, and then I can chat to a random guy waiting for a bus about what his day is, and then we log on. But it actually worked out well today because three hard yarn sabotage moves.
What do you mean?
One, well, let me see what they had fucking done. They changed it off multi-track. So I suddenly noticed, hey, I've got 60 hours of recording time. So that would have fucked me. The wire was jammed in the desk. So I don't know how that happened, but like it took me 3 minutes to dislodge it. It'd been pushed there with force, like brute force. Do you know, like if you were in prison and someone had sort of like taken your family photos and shoved them in a gap so you couldn't get them out? So that took a lot of force. Probably...
Yeah.
Like a crane level of force. So it must have been both of them at the same time trying to pull that cord into the desk cavity. Like there's no way that just fell in. But then the good news is while I was trying to retrieve this headset, I accidentally snapped most of their headsets because they were all caught in a wire and I just ripped at all of them. And I was like, oh, that one's dead. That one's dead. That one's dead. So now they've basically got a graveyard of headsets in a box. Because I can't be bothered untangling it, so I just wrench at it and go, oh, well, I guess that's broken. Dude, why'd you have sunnies on? You're a drug addict again, coming down off the pills.
No, I was just putting my feelers on, man. It's the bright lights, dude. There's bright lights in the Sure Thing studio.
That's the Norman
Very
look,
bright.
hey? Norman and Norman wears the sunnies. They all wear the sunnies at the parks with Rogan. It's very much got that vibe. The cool kids on the school bus where there's a few boys that are new members. They're in the Rogan group and they're wearing the hat back and they're all sort of doing the ice baths. No one realizes why does everyone do every hobby he's into? Some of the shit sucks. Slashing up elk with a knife and having your own knife. And they're like, yeah, I've got a knife. I'm like, why is everyone buying fucking knives? Who gives a fuck? Beat the animal with a rock, blunt rock. You don't need blunt force trauma is all you need, and then you eat it with your teeth. You know what I do? I don't sharpen a knife. I sharpen my teeth and eat directly from the carcass. I'm having roadkill. But it's just funny to think like...
Chew through the matted fur.
How many gym guys have bum bags now? Everyone's doing fucking ass baths, simulating death to get feelings. Oh, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know, like, of course you feel, I've never felt more alive because you took yourself within an inch of dying in an ice bath in a backyard. I'm like, why don't you just fucking chill the fuck out and get a coffee, get a frappe, go for a fucking walk.
Have you ever done one of those cryo things where they put you in there?
Oh, dude, go fuck yourself. Like, you know what?
Have you ever done one?
No, because it's the exact same trend like, you know, in high school when yo-yos hit? Primary school, every cunt's got a fucking marble. Every cunt's got a yo-yo. I'm like, go fuck yourself. I don't need to freeze my balls and end up with a micro penis to feel alive. You know what else you can do? Self-harming. Cut your wrist.
I've done I've done the cryo thing years ago once.
Dude, I've done a salt bath, and my whole penis was on fire. Never did STD.
From the open wounds, the salt getting into those gaping wounds.
The only thing I realized is that most of my body's is diseased because I got in that salt water and everything stung. Every hole was on fire. Like, my gums were bleeding. I was swallowing the water.
But when you get into the cryo tank thing, right? That's the one that like it's down to like a minus 180 or whatever.
Oh,
it
it's
is.
so clever, man.
What you don't think about until it starts is like it's cold. It's gonna be fucking cold. And then it's cold, man. Like there's no lie. It's really fucking cold for 3 minutes and then you get out.
You can get a lot of reactions. Do you know another way to get a rush? Count with your eyes shut on a highway like I do.
Yeah.
That's
Close
fucking
your
same rush. And you get to 10, and I'll tell you, your fucking balls are alive. They're tingling like an ice bath. The lamest part I ever felt was in a salt water bath in one of those fucking cryo sensory desperation tanks.
Oh yeah. Those are cool.
Sensory desperation tanks trying to fit in is lying in there. And then just my mind, after the venereal started burning and I was like feeling like I was getting strung out like fucking pistachio or whatever that meat is, just reflecting over the influences I have on my life and a comic telling me that's where he did most of his writing, and then reflecting back and going, man, but I don't like any of his writing. And then thinking, oh, that's the move. And that's the move. And you know what you're doing? Procrastinating. Because it's hard work to write material. So you think maybe if I jack off in a dark chamber, I'll have a Netflix special. But you know what it actually involves? Horrible, mindless work. Sitting in a room and plotting. Oh, and then mum says that and I say that. And then I said, why don't you go and sensory deprecate your fucking mouth, you bitch, or whatever. I don't know. And then, and then coming to the gig excited, and then people tapping you on the back and you pretending that you came up with it in the moment and not mentioning that for 9 days you didn't leave your house because you were writing stupid words to get pigs to whistle. Pigs whistling. But anyway, man, what I was saying is they've all got their sunnies on. What they don't realise, they're with a fucking pensioner. The guy's fucking old. He's got a big dicky though. I saw him come out of a salt tank and he's got the biggest fucking hog, Rogan. Sucks.
Wait, what?
Most comedians are micro-penised.
Who's got the big hog? What do you mean?
Oh, Rogan, dude.
Oh, right.
100 mil? Do you know how depressing it is? And they mentioned this on Matt and Shane, so I don't want to like cross in the same area, but to see a guy with 100 mil and he's got a massive dick, it pisses me off, hey? Because you know Elon's got a fucking tiny one. You know that Bill Gates had. That's why they have to fuck underages. Because it fits.
That's why they're on the
They
island.
can't fuck a proper woman because they're penis.
Man, that was the true trick of the island, dude. The true trick of the island was making you feel like you had a big boy. That you were a big boy for a couple days.
Oh, dude, you have a big boy? Dude, that's why all those billionaires have to do underage, because it's the big boy experience. Every other place, they're so sick of, even with $1 billion, still hearing the woman laughing in the shower afterwards.
Yeah.
And going, why the prostitutes all giggling by the tropical island I paid for them to get to? And go, what if I said something funny? Yeah, it's funny. And no, Mr. Gates, very, very sexy boy. Very sexy boy. I know. Remember his wife left and said, I don't want to mention what happened. You speak to Jeffrey. Why we divorced?
Who? Melinda?
Melinda mentioned in her separation documents that the reason for the divorce, if you want to know, speak to that awful man on the island. It was mentioned as a reason for the divorce.
Oh, no. Oh, look at that. Yeah, she did too. Bill Gates' work with abhorrent Jeffrey Epstein led to divorce.
And she said, what he said, what he did. Anyway, whatever, man. Yeah, so what's been happening, dude? You went on holiday with your family.
Yeah, wait, what's on your face, first of all, man?
Just my kid scratching me.
I thought it was a scratch. What do you mean? Your kid's scratching you.
Dude, you know what's funny? He put up a good fight. Both of them have flared their teeth to me, which is a new level.
Flare their teeth.
Well, you know what I mean? Because normally they're submissive. Normally a child is submissive, but they've both tested the waters, and then I've had to hold them down. Because what I often do is I'll take their switch, and then I hold them down like a boar until the anger's gone. I'm like, is the anger gone? They flail around, and after enough time, submitting them. Do you know what I mean? It's like what Rogan does with after a pod, he'll submit the guest until he shows capitulation. At that point, you eventually go like, all right, and you whimper, and then you sort of gingerly walk off because Rogan can hold you with your sort of prostate with your dick out and just hold you in that position until you eventually emasculated. And then you go, all right, yes, alpha, I'll put the sunnies on, whatever, we're all going to get fucking bum bags. But you know what the thing is, Yeah. Both have tried to challenge my authority, which is, I thought it only came when testosterone's bubbling.
What were the issues that they were challenging you on?
Oh, dude, just like human nature, like angry with time, angry with, the limits of time that a day ends.
Mostly bedtime related.
Well, most of humans' anger is grappling with that time is finite, that days are finite, that things end, that Easter doesn't go forever, and they get more and more angry on Christmas Day by about 10 when they realise it's no longer fun. I'm like, yeah, everything fucking whittles and dies, dude. Even the best flower to your sweet maiden eventually dies on her doorstep.
So you told both of them that they needed to put the switch away and it's bedtime, and then they got angry and bared their teeth at you?
Flaring the teeth. Man, I've realised it's not unusual. Everyone will flare their teeth. Even, I think, like Ari Shafir might have flared once with Rogan on a walk and said, shut up. And Rogan said, what did you just say? What did you just fucking say? And then rubbed his nose on his fucking rubber boot. You know that boot that covers every toe? Like he wears boots that are like surgical gloves, so each toe. He's read a book that you can wear, every toe must have its own little capsule. But anyway, so I think flaring has to be met. It's the prison move, stab. So he scratched me. You should see his face, ripped to shreds. He looks like prosciutto. What's that shredded meat?
Prosciutto's a shaved ham.
Dude, so why'd you go camping with your family?
I don't know.
To bury granddad's ashes?
Palm Cove, man, up in Cairns.
What are you doing? Are you trying to reconnect?
No, it's just my dad likes going there. He goes there all the time. So I went up to see him.
Oh, well, that's nice of you, man.
It's fucking awful, man. I fucking hate that place, dude. It's the worst.
It's nice for you to bond with them as they slowly brain whittles away.
Yeah.
Give them a last few memories on the hard drive.
I got up there on Friday, and his partner, she had fallen over and fucked her foot up.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, so like with like a week and a half of holiday left.
I can't believe you referred to as his partner. Like that's effectively saying his mistake, his decision. Like you're distancing your proximity.
What do you want me to say? Like his girlfriend?
You say my mum, stepmum.
No, they're
my
not.
Lovely stepmum. Once you're too old, you can't call them your mum.
Well, yeah, and they've been together 20-something years. It's weird to...
20's crazy. That's a long time.
It's a long time, man.
For one personality, that's fucking crazy.
She snapped her foot in half.
Oh, dude, the worst.
First day I get there, and I've been editing pods there all of Thursday, so I haven't slept yet.
Oh my God. So you're coming down from drugs.
I'm really coming down. So he disappears to take her to get an x-ray. I fall asleep. Then it's Saturday. So I have breakfast. Then I sleep most of. No, I didn't have breakfast actually. On Saturday I woke up at 2 p.m. Had some dinner.
Yeah.
Went back to sleep. Woke up Sunday. Had breakfast. Got back. It's too hot, man. It's too hot up in that fucking shithole to do anything.
Do you have an update on her foot? How's foot?
Yeah, it's broken. It's broken in 2 places.
There's a certain age where there's no point in getting an x-ray because it doesn't heal.
No.
You're too old. There's no blood flow. Oh, dude, that sucks.
Yeah. So she and they're on a second floor apartment, so she's stuck up there. Can't do anything.
Oh, dude, then your dad's got to carry her up and down the stairs.
Oh no, he didn't do that. He filmed her. He filmed her crawling up these stairs, and he's laughing, howling, laughing while he's filming this poor girl crawling.
Does she try flaunt the injury? Because I've realised a lot of, like, you're injured, right? Or you're sick. What generally someone would do is stay in bed. But like my mum, when she's injured, will demonstrate it as many ways as she possibly can by doing activities to garner sympathy. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. Mum's trying to climb a tree with her injured hip just to show how frail she is. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a sympathy pokey machine. Like, you can try shake out some emotion from people around you by demonstrating the various ways that you are now debilitated until recovery. Because what I do is, like, my knee's injured and I go, oh, well, I don't do anything.
Yeah.
I'll just watch TV.
Yeah.
I don't say, look, and I can't open the letterbox, and I can't do and I can't fold, and I can't wipe my own ass. And look, I can't get bubble gum off the bottom of this table. Everything is blocked. I'm like, we get it. Your hip is broken. Let's demonstrate every way that a broken hip would interfere with daily living. You cannot chase a bus. You cannot dig a sand pit on the beach to bury yourself. Whatever the fuck you want to do. But I feel bad for Janet because it won't heal properly. What age is she?
No,
unhealable.
She's like 60, I think.
No chance. It's going to be crooked and fucking black toe.
No,
Doesn't
they
come
told
back.
she has to go back when they get back to Christchurch. Go to a doctor and have it looked at, because if it knits wrong, like after 10 days, if it's not in the right place, they have to reset it. And if you wait too long, they have to re-break the fucking bone.
What you need to do with old people, stop living in delusion and keep changing the parts. Just give them pain meds. Fuck it. Opium.
They didn't give her any pain meds, man. I was asking after her. I was trying to get some.
What are you doing? Putting new treads on a worn-out tractor. Just fucking drug it up and send it out back into the pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's like what you do with a sports star. Just fucking drug them through it. You go, we're in fucking overtime in the final quarter. Just have some oxycodone and run off, baby. You run with, like, limping. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, re-engineering. There's no point. It's my whole bit of plastic surgery after 60. It's like renovating a house just before the demo. Like, there's timelines. I think after 60, you should just be given drug packs.
A little drug parachute to sail down gently and into the ocean with.
Because you have that idea like, oh, well, I've got a brand new hip. And I'm like, what's the point, dude? It's like putting a good engine. It's like putting a good engine into a fucking rust bucket. Like, it's just going to fuck up all the other parts. You've got a massive cylinder. It's pumping too much fuel around a worn-out bicycle. Like, what the fuck? You can't attach, like, a lawnmower engine to the side of a fucking bike. Do you know what I mean? A worn and rusty bike. Whatever, but I'm not trying to do this because right here. And I wish you a speedy recovery.
She's been doing all right, man. She's been sitting up there like Rapunzel, up the tower.
Well, that's what everyone says, hey?
What?
When you lose your health, you realize how important it is.
Yes, yeah, it's very insightful.
Do you know what? You know what? Most people's convo should just be a drinking game where you've got it in a booklet and you circle it and have to have a shot every time you hear a cliche. And people are like, what the fuck?
How many platitudes can you identify?
Dude, and you're like, unbelievable. Wolfies are having shots all the time. And I'm like, well, unfortunately, it's in my 100-word cliche book. I'm like, it's not my fault. You guys just repeat the past over and over. What I've realized, man, I don't mind the hack cliche comment.
Yeah.
It's the giggle afterwards where we pretend that it titillated you.
Yeah.
It's the same way you fans of a comedian will laugh at absolute tripe just because they're fans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do not patronize him. He's fucking spiraled. His career's down the toilet. He's been indulging himself too much. He's no longer funny. Tell him to fuck up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You know that giggle? Ha! That's what's so jarring being around like school moms is that fake laugh. Ha! Ha! Do you know, it doesn't sound like that, but you know the sound?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's the equivalent to someone having a shot where a cliche is being triggered. And it's like, you got to drink every time they say red wine. You got to drink every time they say a cliche. But what you hear is, oh, get it. Yeah, fucking, yeah, fucking, oh, thank God, it's over. Another day, another fucking dollar.
It's very hot up there, man. I don't know how people live. Like, it's fucking brain melting humidity.
Do you know what people don't realize? I've been explaining it to people in Perth that the weather shortens your lifespan. So I go, have as many fucking health shakes as you want, but that harsh sun is taking 8 years of your family's life.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
they get so angry. I'm like, you can give your little dumb shit 19 Vitabix or whatever the fuck you're doing, but know that this harsh desert you've decided to bring them up, this Mad Max environment, means that your son will die 18 years earlier from the heat. And it's actually true. They go, how good is this? We live so well. Everything looks like it's got sun cream over it. I'm like, how good is this life? And I'm like, way to kill your kids 30 years early by bringing them up on the set of Mad Max, you fucking sociopath.
Man, it's fucking miserable. And you can't swim either. Like, you go out to the beach and it's like, they've got the Gold Coast, they have the flags, and you think, okay, that makes sense because rips and stuff. They don't have that. North Queensland, they'll have like boxed out a little bit of it because there's those fucking Irukandji jellyfish or those box jellyfish.
These do-gooders, all you need is 10 NutriBullets out on those things that just fucking churn these fucks up. Everyone wants to have these. You can't even see the jellyfish in the water.
I don't think it's not wanting to kill them or anything. It's like they're too small. You can't do anything with it, man. Like they have big net out, the big net out to keep everything out, and then they have an even smaller net out because those fuckers are so tiny, they will find their way through.
Why are we... It's our beach. We should be able to... you should have like... You should be able to take out crocs from the beach and gut them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to have fun out there. Don't you think we should be able to run a NutriBullet through a blue jellyfish's family and watch it chum up the water? You have to go and swim. Oh, we got to swim with them. But you see these fucking Japanese tourists in full bodysuits swimming around. And I'm like, that's never on the pamphlet. The truth is you have to show them wearing a full leotard in 47-degree heat. With the only thing is their mask, and if they dare have one little leak, they might die. And they've all got to sign disclaimers. But the photos are from Maldives of another family that's swimming unimpinged. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you should actually show people sitting on the beach being charged for photographs and $400 for a cheese sandwich while they look out at the beach that they're not allowed to go in, and then just... dabbing each other with cold sponges.
You can't kill the crocodiles, but they also
fucking maul them.
Find some fucking hillbilly like 10, 20 grand up there for there was a crocodile that they were trying to get a look at, so he brought out a couple of live chickens to feed the
Yeah, dude.
And they fined him for that as well. You can't feed him and you can't shoot him.
We did that with my aunt, right? Where we took her bumper car and we got the lions attached to the back and they were dragging along in the park.
What do you mean? You got the? What do you mean? What do you mean attached to the back?
My aunt and I, we went to a lion park and we kept driving back and forth, and we eventually got 3 of the lions to attach to a bumper and drag them along. It's so fun. Like, we were a chew toy inside it. But always my fantasy had been the remote control car with chicken on it. Either that or a remote control boat, and just playing sport with either crocodiles or lions. I'm like, why the fuck would you go to Kruger National Park and not have a chicken and attach it to a remote control car and just have the time of your life? Do you know how excited your boys would be watching as you escaped 9 lions and then ran them off the side of a ridge, and you're like, whoops, we went a bit far. 3 have rolled down. And you go, well, you know, you caveat emporium, buyer beware. That's the risks of doing business.
Where were you driving through with the lions?
Oh, dude, so fun. Because we just got bored, and you know, there was a story there, I think I've said it on the pod, where the Japanese guy got out to get photos and just got eaten.
Yeah.
And I don't think they saved him just to teach him a lesson. They let the lions finish. The lion still had his bones. Like they'd run past with the bone weeks later. But they thought they were in Disneyland, and they were probably whispering, like, as the lion was holding them down, hey, chill out, mate. You're taking it a bit. I'm the head of Fuji. You're pushing it a bit hard here, mate, to the mascot. Hearing it going, rah. But we were doing laps. I was doing little games like open the window, wave your hand, wave some meat for it, then close the window. Little games, little pranksties. But then we sort of backed into them, and they were latching on to the back. And then we realised the power of the jaw, because we got in trouble by my uncle because the fucking back bumper had been shredded. It was they got a bad bite. At points it was hard to get them off, but what fun for anyone watching on to see a family that's reversing into the pack and out, in, out.
Like a skill machine. You're trying to grab one and fling it around.
Dude, this is what blocked me, because when I had money, I would do stuff like this, and this is what blocked me. We went to Port Douglas when we were kids, and all I asked was that we could get a chicken from Coles and drag it and see if we could get the very thing that farmer wanted to do. Every day I said, please, can we get a chicken and tie it to a rope? Please, can we? I want to try see if I can lure a croc, No. I mean, it's just insane. I would imagine if anyone had a bit of fun in them, every car should have, like at a wedding, you got chickens hanging off the back as you drive through the Daintree forest, should have 47 chickens bouncing behind you with crocodiles trying to bite them, wild dogs. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are people doing? Animals are here for our entertainment. It says it in the Bible. They're a subspecies. The Bible, and that's the creator, is very clear that they're for sport and fun. He said it in the chapter. He says animals are God's toys.
Yeah, for yummies or for laughies.
God's playthings. Eat or poke. That's what they say. Vegans don't understand. Read the Bible. It's clear in there that you can do whatever the fuck you want to an animal and you're not going to hell. Everything's on the table. Is there anything in the Bible that says anything about animals and you're going to jail?
No, it says fuck them up. It says, well, I made these for you. Fuck them up, son. Fuck them up.
It's basically what Rogan's doing to all these comics. They're all just fucking playthings. He's got these fucking playthings. He jacks off at night just wondering, oh my God, I made them all wear bum bags and sunnies, and they're all doing, don't have a cow bunga. They've all got his quotes. Everyone's having fucking ice baths. His bath's probably warm. Imagine that it's not embarrassing that you happen to have the same hobbies as the alpha male in the orangutan herd.
Man, just the fact that he's got everyone moving out to Austin, dude. Like he's making his own economic bubble.
Imagine if you went on the pod and you just like did the same peculiar your hobbies. Pictionary's my favorite game. I like to fly kites. And, fairy floss. Have you tried fairy floss? We got a machine, fairy floss machine. And I'm like, you know what? On the second piece of fairy floss, your blood sugar is elevated and you can see the third eye, Joe. And he'll be like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can tell everything can be a fucking obsession. I could talk about how I have my body weight in fairy floss and can see the nirvana. Do you know what I mean? Or how flying a kite and you get struck by electricity gives you a fucking insight into the human condition. There's any fucking shit. Drink 90 litres of water and I'm sure you'll feel something. Run over your foot with a car and you'll feel something. There are very many ways. Put a fucking pin into the eye of your penis and you'll feel something. Do you know what I mean?
Man, that's all it is, dude. It's all just trying to feel something, anything.
I would like to convince him that I put a swarm of bees on my dick and stung it, and I could see it's the equivalent of DMT. Imagine him tricking Joe Rogan to put a queen bee up the foreskin.
Yeah, I'm nutribulleting those irukandji, and then I'm funneling them up the shaft.
Dude, I'd love to trick him into putting irukandji up the eye of his penis. trying to have a DMT experience, and then just howling, laughing as he has his last few breaths, and go, well, it was worth a shot. I had never done it. I lied, but it's actually very dangerous. Dude, why don't they fucking have some paper shredders 30 meters out from the coast?
In the water.
Yeah, shredders.
Yeah, man, they've got all sorts of shit out there. Like they're fucking trawling. They have little boats that go trawling looking for the jellyfish, trying to spot them, man. And as soon as they see one, they close the fucking beach.
Do you know what's crazy is that animals abide by the calendar. Like people can tell you, like they're only there from June, like they won't come in May.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's weather conditions, but I'm like, there's like a day when they arrive.
Yeah.
And what happens the day before? Like what, they check in their diary? Like an event calendar? Like they got an event calendar and they put it off? And they go, don't open your Christmas presents early. You're only allowed to eat the tourists between May and fall. I'm like, why wouldn't you fucking sneak in early? And really, imagine that. The Irrakundi come in out of season and fucking storm you at night. It's like guerrilla warfare. You get a croc leaving the water, coming up into the deli. Bite your dick off in winter.
You could do a lot of damage as a fake lifeguard up there.
Oh, dude.
You set up a little fake medical station. Some tourist gets bitten, and you're like, "We're gonna take this off quick." You like you convince them they need to let you amputate their hands. Where'd you get stung? You got stung on your arm. Whack! You fucking machete.
Dude, that's the ultimate prank show. Japanese tourists, and they're all dressed as lifeguards. None of them speak English. And they've come to do scuba diving in the eighth wonder of the world. And there's just thousands of these fucking useless lifeguards that don't speak English, dressed like Baywatch. Women running up, my boy's missing. Me photo. It's so good. Is that good?
Yeah, it's good, man. It's a very funny move.
There's a croc and you're asking tourists, but they're all dressed like lifeguards. Bondi, imagine Bondi. Everyone should wear Bondi Rescue wear, so you can't tell who's who.
Oh yeah, dude. You got thousands of people out there all dressed in the yellow and the red.
Drownings are through the roof, and they're like, there were at least 40 lifeguards nearby. We thought someone was going to take care of it.
There's 40 lifeguards have drowned today at Bondi.
It's like the Liverpool 11. People just keep drowning because they can't see on the beach if anyone's assisting anyone. So you lose track because all the tourists are dressed like lifeguards. And they're like, I don't know, like we thought they were 50. It looked like there were 40 lifeguards trying to save one boy, but it turns out it was 40 tourists drowning dressed like lifeguards. We didn't even know. They all were sucked out of the rip underwater. Bondi Rescue, have you gone to film there? You always try to get on.
No, I've not been to Bondi at all.
You try to get on the show, but then you realise they make so many episodes you will never see it because they film for 8 hours a day, and that's probably 18 seasons. Like one day at that beach is probably 18 years in TV time. Do you know what I mean? Because the way they coming back, we'll find out if they ever found the sun cream container. Do you know what I mean? Like they just string this shit out with fucking KFC ads. I don't know. I want it. And then it's just like one day on that beach is 18 fucking years on Channel 10.
Yeah, man.
That's the timeline.
That was the worst bit, dude. Just having to watch terrestrial television up there. No decent internet, and you're just watching shit on TV. Just fucking MasterChef ads, man. Constant. If I have to hear that I Want Candy song one more time, I'm gonna gouge my fucking ears out of my head.
Dude, you realise how brainwashy it is? Because when I see terrestrial, I always try to get the reception better. And you know how they do that? By putting a fork into the electrical socket. Trying to mainwave just any feeling. Because, dude, I find it horrific now. Terrestrial, I can feel what they're doing. Like, it's Clockwork Orange. As soon as you're watching it, you're like, you watch Big Bash with your dad, And you hear him like he's had a few beers, he's yelling at the screen about Putin and Ukraine, and then how he wants a KFC burger. I don't want it. Take my money. Hurry up and take my money. And then goes, fuck Putin, he's fucking red cunt. Beer. Their emotions are just reacting to whatever's put in the water. It's very much like Rogan on a pod. He just his patsies follow his every move. He's the feeder fish. But you know what I'm saying? Like when you watch people watching TV, green light, red light, you know that green light, red light parties? You can just see them like, so they're screeching about Israel, and then there's, I don't want, then you see them drooling because they want KFC, and then they're rubbing their dick at a Toyota commercial, and then they text their mum immediately after white lady funerals, miss you, mum. And I'm like, they pretty much, they react like the jellyfish in the water to various, you know, like a goanna changes to the leaves, whatever, you know what that colour is?
Yeah, the chameleon.
Chameleon. And you actually watch them and they're like mood rings, and it's insane watching them go from punching their pillow to then trying to bite their pillow because they're hungry and then crying into their pillow. And you're like, this is within 1 minute of walking past a pensioner watching TV. You can see all the spectrum of human emotion, all elicited by various sounds. Ian Difffield commercials, weird jingles, ding, 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 ding. Do you know they could actually make babies using TV? It could make people end up fucking just by, if you put two ads together that made people horny, they would suddenly have like baby boomer wave, just thousands of kids conceived because KFC's now showing how cool, like it shows chicken and then also shows like a little cherub and how cool a kid is, and then showing two fat people fucking in the back of a van eating KFC and probably make them have children.
Man, I didn't realize they've split all of the channels up into so many different channels. I had no idea. Like they've got one channel that just plays like Seinfeld episode after Seinfeld episode back to back.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then the ads don't even, like whoever's programming them, they don't care anymore, man.
There's a channel now that's got one of the Australian podcasts that's on Channel 10. Their podcast is streamed on loop, and it's because they've got so many channels. These dumb people can't work out that they're not getting fed any proper meat because there's so much scrap. Do you know what I mean? It's like East egg hunt. They keep looking and think, well, I just don't feel satiated, but there's 1,000 channels. Just keep flicking. I want it. Flick. And they're like, I'm in a weird mood. I need to up my SSRIs because I'm just not satiated by any of these 5,000 channels that are just showing weird streamers and fireworks displays.
But they'll dump the ads in wherever, man. Like I watched this one, like a Seinfeld episode begin. It played like 2 minutes of it, and then it goes to ads, and I go up another channel. The same ads are playing. They've started at the same time.
Oh, dude.
Then the Seinfeld episode ends. A new one starts immediately after the credits. There's no ads. They've programmed it like you're watching it on your laptop at home.
They need a basic minimum wage, but it's paid by someone like KFC, and you just actually have to watch KFC ads for a certain amount of time. Like there's no illusion that you're being entertained.
No.
You and your family just watch KFC. You have to name your kid Big Bucket. You have to fucking totally embrace, you're all dressed in KFC merchandise, and you're given KFC to keep you alive and just enough food to drive back and forth to recharge your headsets to watch more. Do you think, like, why do they even bother having anything but ads? Just fucking make the ads a little bit more entertaining and fuck it all off. Just fuck it all off. The whole show should be KFC. What channel are you watching? KFC.
It was crazy, the amount of ads for that MasterChef dessert thing.
Oh, dude.
Honestly, I saw that probably 150 times. Until I started, I moved over to, there are like 5 channels that just play movies with seemingly no ads, which I don't really understand how that operates.
Yeah, dude. The MasterChef's unbelievable because people never taste the food, but they're like, that's delicious. So I'm like, it is pretty much the worst because it shows how hollow it is because you're watching people cook for hours every night, but you never actually know if it's just editing. Like the meal probably isn't even cooked. Like, You know what I mean? You don't know what any of this shit is.
Yeah, there were probably like 150 times I saw this ad play for another show on the same network, which means that they, instead of selling the ad space to someone who would pay for it, they were just trying to drive people to watch the other thing that they sold more expensive ads to. It's crazy.
It's actually gone into a death spiral because no one's watching anymore. So the people that are all mentally incapacitated and they're exploiting them by just upping the ad quota. So they're just like, most of these people have Down syndrome. So we just show them like 95% ads and they don't know how to turn it. They're pensioners with injured toes and black lung. And like they're basically going, well, look, we've narrowed it down to the lowest, the most vulnerable 3% of the human population. And now we're just showing them pure ads to keep the revenue at the same level. That's how they profit smooth. They've just got people now that are basically, and I don't know why they're keeping up the pretense that there's a difference between TV and ads. Do you know how they have product placement? I'm like, just literally, TV should be ads and the ads are entertaining. So you know the car thing where their family fuck on the lawn after buying the rodeo or whatever the fuck they have a picnic. Just have a little bit more dialogue.
Yeah.
And that's the new show. You're like, oh, I wonder what they're going to do next. Do you know? And then they're having a fight on the lawn. And you know what I mean? The whole thing should just be like, I'm watching season 70 of Kia. I love it. Season 70 of Kia is my favorite. Who's your favorite actor? Generic white guy. Generic happy white guy with Japanese wife. That's my favorite cast member.
It's also always funny to see the regional ads.
Oh, dude, we love those.
Like I saw a Suzuki ad. It was clearly like the voiceover was real local. Suzuki, the new Swift, it's pretty good. Like, come down and check one out. A Swift. Have you tried a Swifty? You got to get in one of these at bloody Ken's Suzuki's. Like, it's so low budget. Like, they've filmed all the same shots. Like, the Swift is going by a cafe, but it's on a handy cam and it's all shaky.
Oh, no, dude. That's basically the new Saturday Night Live for me. The sketches of them dancing or them doing their own ads. Just them coming up with their own marketing, their own company name, and then just watching a car dealer do a TikTok dance because he's seen that went viral, dressed as an alligator going like, we're snapping up the bargains. And I'm like, it's fucking, you can't write comedy and to be that authentically funny and to be unaware that people... I mean, James McCann uploaded some...
Oh, my God.
McCann.
James McCain, you've done it again.
Dude, I don't know why I've got this propensity to marginally, slowly start getting people's names slightly wrong. That's closer to another, like, McCain. But I don't know why I do it. It's like something that... is in my personality to slowly start fucking with people. Yeah. Anyway, he had James.
Yeah.
McCann?
James McCann.
McCann!
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he uploaded them, and it was very, very beautiful because it was... I watched Nate Pregazio's Saturday Night Live, and he didn't have fuck all on the Nissan Pajero ad done regionally, where the guy actually gives you his mobile number and you ring it and he picks it up.
You'll have the car coming around the corner, but like the windscreen's dirty. Like it clearly needs a wash. One of the panels is the wrong color.
His wife's driving it, and his kid has a cameo because it's in the child seat in the back. And then
the kid's got his finger up to the window as they go past.
Dude. And he's paid $50,000 to Channel 10 to keep the lights on so we can watch the project for another month. and this fucking guy's been ripped off. And at his funeral, they're going to play that ad and go, this was one of his proudest moments. And he never gets any customers. He gets people like me ringing his mobile, telling him how good the ad is. And he goes, you're the 5th comedian to call me today to tell me how fucking good my ad is. And you go, so you're interested in a vehicle? And you're like, I'm on welfare and live at my parents. But I said, what you've done there is better than Saturday Night Live address. I'm not actually on welfare, by the way, to any clients listening. This is all a joke. I'm coming back strong.
The fact that you're specifying I'm not on welfare, I just live at my parents, in case that was going to be the deterrent.
No, dude, when
in
I'm
case
moving
any
out.
of your clients are going to be deterred by the welfare aspect and not by the living at your parents aspect.
I'm moving out, but I can't give the hand grenade. I'm going through a very difficult divorce.
Are you? What's the development there? Are you you have to move out now?
I'm having extreme PTSD. I can't talk about it this moment. It's very like when I lost all that money. There's a lot to process for one boy.
There's definitely been an argument with your parents.
You always call yourself boy when you're in peril. Don't be like that to your boy. That's what you try with your ex as she storms out. Come on, boy. Love your boy. And you're like, you're an adult, fuck face. Oh, shit, I'm out of luck.
Also, a lot of you can tell how regional a place is by like the number of ads for like the local RSL, or like a painter, like just some guy who's like, oh, it's Jim here, we paint. You want to get your house done?
Oh, dude,
we'll do wallpapers as well if you like.
You can tell also by the way they react, like when you order the coffee and you're like, move, hurry, like just the body language and their shock when you're like, yeah, wind it up. So she'll be like, yeah, great fishing today. And you go, well, yeah, wind it up, cunt. No, you don't really say that. I just had to be harsh.
I made a lady at a cafe very angry at me because I asked for a thick shake and then she asked how thick and I told her to fuck me up and she did not like that at all.
Dude, how good's that? How thick? Thick as your inbred daughter, you bitch. Dude, there's nothing better than leaving a cafe and you're sure that the woman's in tears. And you're like, well, that is better than an ice bath, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and then when I went up to pay, they had a little sign that said a 5% surcharge applies.
Yeah.
We apologies. 5% surcharge.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is there a 5% surcharge? And she was very short with me. She said, I don't know.
I don't know.
I said, well, when is it is it on everything? And she's like, you're asking the wrong person.
I don't know.
And then she made me leave. She was furious.
It is what it is, okay? Yes. Yeah, they're very defensive of their procedures. It's like what I found, when I was doing like lift and shifts of processes and I'd go in and it's like payroll and the woman would want to meet up to explain her process.
Yeah, like some lady who's been there for like 15 years.
And I was like, hey, no, I don't need to know how to do accounts payable from you. I said, it's a very straight, I'll set up a more efficient, they'll just set up a new system. Fuck you. I said, it's fucking coming from the same accounting system that we did at the other place. Whatever you're doing, we don't need your fingerprints across it, okay? Pam? So, hey, Pam, I've got even better news. Just delete everything you've done and fuck off. And they're like, no, we print out this sheet and we reconcile it to this sheet and then Wayne rubber stamps it and then we reconcile the reconciliation to the reconciliation and 3 days later, it all adds up. And I'm like, yeah, well, we just fucking press ledger balance from zero and we run it ourselves and we don't even fuck off. Fuck off.
What's the worst one of those that you had? What's the one where like there were some big fucking gaps?
What I did, EDS, we were doing it EDS and we're rolling it across to India. And they said you document all their processes and then we'll roll them across to India with more people doing that process.
Yeah.
And then I suddenly realized why. Why document their process? Let's just write a good process and just eliminate these fucks so I don't have to do any meetings. So you just write the process. And I might have fucked up. I might be the new Pam. There might be really bad things where I haven't printed shit out. But I basically just sat and thought, what would you want to do? You're paying people. So what are we going to do? And just like not bother. But the anger, they are so irate. No! You always have to clean the teaspoon before you serve up the cream with the scones. I'm like, fuck off. They were so demoralized because they were all getting sacked.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have the dignity of the guy that was sacking them of even working out what they had been doing for the 20 years. Don't even bother. You know what? Put all your processes in a bin. You are obsolete. Go and watch KFC commercials. In tears. In tears. Going, what do you mean you don't want... I've got a padlock for the payroll key. What do you mean you don't want it? It's a pinned code that I've buried in the desert. And I've got the key hidden in my husband's orifice. No, but you know what I mean? They've got all these weird controls.
Yeah.
I keep all the tokens in a lunchbox that I buried near my high school sweetheart's bike rack. I'm like, what are you doing? But anyway, yeah, so that was amazing, dude, because no one worked out that I just didn't have meetings with anyone. And I just rolled out the system just from the generic templates.
But you must have had somewhere like they were just doing it wrong for 15 years.
Well, there's no point in following a fool into the woods. Do you know what I mean? On a fool's errand is the word.
Yeah.
So they go turn left, turn right. Do you know what I mean? They're driving to your house without Google Maps, and you realize there's a point where they drive the wrong direction and then keep doing pivots, left, left, left. And yeah, like technically you still get there if you turn left at every street. But I'm like, we could just go up the highway. Do you know what I mean? Like we don't have to do laps of cul-de-sacs. That's what happens a lot in business processes. They drive up a road, it's a cul-de-sac, they do a loop down. It's no harm, no foul, but it is just wasted, expended energy.
It's a lot of, some unnecessary turns.
I'm like, why are we going this scenic route where you go up 9 cul-de-sacs but still end up back on the main central repository? But who knows, dude? As the end, idle hands, idle minds. These people need to be kept busy or they'll just be causing chaos elsewhere. Grannies need to be stitching the whole time. If a granny's not stitching a scarf, she's causing problems. You know what I mean? If she's not knitting, she's chatting.
How are boys?
Picks of the week.
How's TBD going?
Oh, mate, well, I'll tell you, TG6 was actually quite a tip.
Oh, really?
The cap raise was not forthcoming.
Oh,
it went to 80 cents.
Dude, we could have doubled from fucking Thursday.
Easy going, light work.
Did you buy in? Did you buy in at all?
No, dude, because one of my new lessons that I learned, which I had learned before I fell out of Nedlands, was never FOMO. Like you never chase the stock. Retention of capital is all that matters.
Yeah.
And that you run, you know what I mean? It's like cricket. Your innings is over once you're out, which is chasing a bitch like this. You've just got to keep getting a single here, a single there. It's not good to watch, but eventually you will have the victory because 50 will come up like Justin Langer style over 4 days. You will have hit 50 runs. Yes, you'll have bored your entire client base. Nothing is being achieved. But all you know is that you never jeopardize your wicket. That's what I've learned, dude. Obviously, I'd like to have done TG6, but there's a cap raise coming, so it wasn't worth the risk.
Yeah.
Obviously, now it would have been nice to have run it, but they have $3 million in the bank and they need to raise money. So I didn't want to, especially with they had an investor presentation come out, which are synonymous with brokers. They're prepared by brokers.
Yeah.
They're always a precursor. So what I think's happened is they've realized that they're on a run and they've held off on it, which is not normally what they do because it's all about paying their private school fees. They normally would have jacked in. It's insane the restraint these guys have shown. It has to be in a trading halt within the next 2 days, and it will be a heavily discounted cap raise for their boys and mates. You will start to see it when volume suddenly hits unexplained, which is starting maybe to hit today because they know they've priced it at 35 cents, and everyone that's run from 20 to 80 will now be locking in their profit because they've been promised the stock and the cap raise at 35.
Yeah.
So they'll sell everything and they'll know that Wednesday next week they'll be getting the stock again at 35. So generally what would have happened is I would have been in there. They know they're going to get it for 35. They sell at all costs. And I buy and buy and buy at 80, only to be surprised on Wednesday next week when all those guys have exited and then it's 35 cents and then I try sell and sell at 40 and they start buying it back up. Do you know what I mean? Rinse and repeat. I'm the KFC.
What needs to... Yeah, what needs to happen? What parameters to be able to short something like this? Why can't we short it?
Oh, well, on contracts for difference, this is the other problem with these ones.
Yeah.
Hazer, I can get contract for difference, but I've realised that the table's very reduced. Like I can borrow, but only up to like 200,000 units, and then it just drops down to 25% borrow rate rather than 5x.
Yeah.
Whereas so what I was saying is they won't allow you to short a stock with this size market cap. It's only 30 million.
But not at all?
Nah, they won't because it's just they know what's going to happen. Like, as in, there's not enough volume for them to risk it because, you know, it can get moved so easily by the pigs. It's just too risky. Do you know what I mean? The bigger ones, like you want to fuck around, it's Gina, the white pointers arrive. You know, Gina, that's obviously kept Talon flatlining for 2 years, which is virtually impossible. She did it with WGO, and she can just basically flatline any stock on the market.
But so what needs to have happened for them to allow? Like,
Well, you could probably-
what is the actual control in place that's stopping someone from shorting it?
You might be able to short like Wildcat now, but you wouldn't want to, right? Because they found 180 meters at 1% of lithium. It's a fucking specky. Min's going to take it over. It's all proven. These two lithium ones have gone mental, dude. These could have. Do you know Wildcat? If I had put the money that I had in Wildcat instead of Talon, I could have bought a house in Perth for cash from June to now.
Yeah.
Do you understand the glory of telling all the naysayers?
There's no naysayers. They don't exist. No one's naysaying, man. It's just the snake.
But
it's
as
your
we
own
said,
snake,
I'm
dude.
never gonna tell them. You know why?
It's the snake in your pants.
I'm going to relax in my paid off house, but I'm going to tell everyone that I'm on the dole so that I can just have them leave me alone. Because when you're losing, they kick you. When you're winning, they kick you. They only don't kick you when you're in the herd watching KFC commercials. If you're anywhere outside of KFC TV, terrestrial TV, you're in for a flogging.
TV.
If you lie anywhere outside of the curve, you get flogged. If you're winning, you're flogged. If you're losing, you're flogged. If you're just middling, you're all right. Do you not think?
Yeah, man, I agree. But I don't. But no one's. There are no naysayers, man. No one's naysaying you.
Well, they are because they're a herd
Everyone
animal.
loves you. They love you. They love you. Everyone wants you to win. They want you to be a big winner.
Guess what a herd animal loves?
Big winner.
Do you know what a herd animal loves?
What?
A herd. They like being in a herd. No one realizes they're a herd animal. Like, that's so funny about human beings. They don't realize that everything they are is herd. That Joe Rogan is just creating a herd. And he becomes like a flock. Do you know what I mean? Like everything's a herd. That all the ice bath, everyone ice bathing is basically just part of a herd. Do you not find that funny?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
That how many bum bags are bought? And how many people are smoking DMT and doing ice baths? Do you not find it fucking funny?
Hey, man, like it's a very exclusive club, the most listened to podcast of all time. You know, like it's so exclusive.
Well,
You're very special for listening to the exclusive conspiracy theory pod.
watching them try and model and not realize that they're a herd. So, like, you see it on the Reddit around a comedian, where you see these fucking losers trying to replicate Shane Gillis's sense of humor on the forum. And I'm like, they're trying to be funny like him, but they're not talented. So it's the saddest thing you've ever seen. Because they were like, they're just this poor man. They'll do the Down syndrome thing, but it's a bad version of it. And they would, you know what I mean? Like, they're in there doing like micro versions of the person that they love, and they don't realize how pathetic that is. Do you know what I mean? Like, is that the saddest outcome for a human being? Is to try be like a mini version of someone else?
To replicate, yeah.
Yeah, replicate. And you see them on their Reddit and they start patrolling, because this is why they always hate the comic eventually, because they start telling you what is and he is and isn't, and what he does and doesn't. And they start telling, initially they tell people, he wouldn't like that. He wears bum bags. He only wears bum bags and Crocs. He wouldn't like fishing. They only like hand hunting. No one likes fishing. And then suddenly they see Gillis fishing, and then they're like, well, I'm confused. Why is he fishing? We're land hunters. No one fishes. Oh, he's fucking gone to the dogs. Now that he's famous, he's fucking angling. He's fishing now. We're always about stabbing and hunting on the land. But you know what I mean? Like, they have these, they're just always trying to understand what something is, because they're nothing.
Yeah. So they can better replicate, man. And then they become angry. Furious.
They want to replicate.
Furious when it doesn't fit the imagined persona they've developed.
Dude, and it's like MasterChef actually getting the ingredients. They don't have the ingredients, but they try to theorize what that person did with that bog roll and 3 liters of mince or whatever the fuck they do on that shit show. Wrapping mince up in loo roll and burying it in a bongy fire. What are those Maori things where they bury shit?
A hungy.
A hungy, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I would do if I went on MasterChef? Everything would be hungy. I'd hungy everything.
We're drilling through the floor of the studio today in order to hungy these tacos. We're having hungy tacos.
We're going to make a classic hungy sticky dough pie.
You know, man, you know what's funny about a hungy, dude? Is like, everything is cooked in the ground, right? And you think, I wonder what this is going to taste like. And it tastes a lot like you've cooked everything in the fucking ground.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've ever had one, man, but I've had a few hungies, and it tastes a lot like it's all been set on fire underground.
You know what I love is the false sophistication around it, where there's a process. I'm like, what? Creating 300-degree heat and then burying it in the dirt and just praying it to come out burnt. I'm like, it's not like you with steaks where they shrink wrap it and then boil it, and do you know whatever those words are, and they fry it and do all these fucking specific things. This is called burying it and then just waiting 3 hours and then dig it up.
We're going to bury the food on fire.
And I'm like, well, you know what? It doesn't seem that complicated, because what I saw you do is get a shovel and then dig a hole and bury it for 3 hours. And I'm like, I don't think that's very hands-on cooking. I don't think I need to know how to hold a knife and chop onions when we're just putting a pig, shoving some fucking meat, some fruit up its ass and burying it for 3 hours. Hanging is cooking, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the false sophistication of those cooking shows. I'm like, don't kid that a steak sandwich doesn't fucking beat all that shit.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right, man. It does. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because the human tongue is that fucking sensitive that it can tell.
But also, like, man, who cares? You don't get to eat it. You're just watching these other dumb cunts eat it. It's awful.
Yeah, and you know what I always say? Like, I've had it my whole thing, like a poor man's tongue, and I'm like, a hamburger and a thick shake beats any fucking shit I've seen anywhere. French restaurant, German restaurant, fucking, you give me the best 8 chefs in the world, I would prefer a fucking chocolate thick shake with little cookie dough in it, and then a burger with chips.
Well, also, man, it's called MasterChef, but it's not MasterChef. It's like dumb cunt who wanted to be on the TV show chef. Then none of them are masters. They're just idiots. They just found them.
Do you know what? It's the drama queens, because what they've realized is what people's lives are. And a lot of identity comes from preparing those meals because nothing happens during the day besides gathering some shallots and some fucking strips of veal and then grilling it. So like they want to see what they are. So their favorite TV show is domestic shit. Cleaning. I don't know why they just upload people vacuuming.
Yeah, dude, that would be great as after MasterChef to have Master Dishwasher.
Oh, dude.
It's just at the back of MasterChef and there's all these poor fucks having to clean it all up, but the same height and drama.
Dude.
Jeffrey's been washing dishes for 14 years.
Unbelievable show showing different vacuum nozzle attachments and how to get stains out of carpets. And go, look, what you find, a bit of Tabasco sauce with some white talcum powder, and then I bash it with my pelvis, and look, there's the anchovy stain completely removed. Incredible, Moira.
Yeah,
and
man.
And you go, you've won Master Cleaner. Master Cleaner. And he goes, watch him get rid of it. He got a skid mark. He got rid of it using a fucking Colgate motorized toothbrush.
Today's challenge is you're going to have to take these skid marks out of these underpants without using your hands. Dum dum.
Oh, dude. And you see a man and he's got his mouth in the bucket and he's running it between his teeth.
He's sucking out the shit stains.
And we're like, hang on, no human interaction. You are disqualified because we found him with half the undies wedged into his mouth trying to chew the shit out. Oh, dude. Domestic Goddess Season 5. Domestic Goddess Season 5 is such a good show.
Dude, it's pretty good to expand on MasterChef. Have the entire fleet. Dude, it's like how they have the Chicago PD, Chicago Medical, and like Chicago Fire Department, whatever. They got all of them for like MasterChef, Master Clean, Master Get the Kids to School, Master School Drop Off. Andrew's been in a spat with some of the other mums from school for 6 months now.
Oh, dude, Master Parker, Master Cheap Fuel on Monday, Finder, Master Leftovers, where she can turn tuna sandwiches into a tuna mornay for the family from the lunch tin. Master of Leftovers. And she reheats chicken because she can sniff it and says, no, it's not on the nose. No.
Can Jenny feed a family of 5 without anyone getting food poisoning this week?
Oh, dude. Master Parker would be so good, just showing Scotty Cam finding parking in different CBDs. And he's got a Hilux. It's a Hilux ad. It's a TV show. And it's Toyota season 30, and it just show various parking. Bingo night. Busy because it's a meat raffle. Watch him. Oh, my God. He's mounted the curb. Is it illegal? No, it's not, because the standby sign has been removed by a group of boys. Scotty Cam, you've done it again.
Man, my dad got food poisoning in Cairns before I got up there from Coles ham from the deli at Coles.
Oh, mate. Do you know what? The amount of trust you give to teenage people, like...
This is exactly what it is, man. It was some teenage girl who was shaving the ham and put it down on a surface that was clearly for cutting chicken on.
Dude, this is why I couldn't eat out, because I remember when I was in that restaurant and that guy that used to, like, have the steaks on the ground and kick them around when he prepared for the boss.
Yeah,
and he'd kick it and he'd laugh. Ha ha! You'd see him kick it under the fridge and then pull it out. And then he'd rub a snot on it and then he'd fry it up. And then all of us are standing around. I hated it because I don't think you should interfere with food. That's one of my moral boundaries. Out of bounds. But watching him eat, and then the trauma that it had on me, because it's like what happens when I went to that Indian restaurant and they were all laughing in the kitchen. And then basically I ordered $30 of food and then I threw it in front of them in the bin and go, sucked in, fuckheads, $40. Bin, ha! Laughing right back at you because I haven't eaten. Ha ha ha! I win. And then going home hungry. But you know what I mean? Like, if anyone laughs in the kitchen, I can't eat the food.
Yeah.
If they smile at me.
It's very traumatic.
If they say the comment like, enjoy the meal too slowly, I'm like, all right, well, fucking take it away. It's a prank. I know what you're doing. I'm not eating.
But then when I got to Cairns, we went to the Coles that he had gotten the food poisoning from. And this is a problem, right? This is a problem even between like New Zealand, Australia. It's not that different, but it's still different enough that when we walked in there, I was like, Dad, I know exactly why you got food poisoning. This is a lower socioeconomic area, Dad.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the Coles you buy from the deli. This is not right. Like the floors were like a dark grey, like a colour that a Coles floor should never be. It was all weird.
You can always tell because you see it with fast food workers where like at lunch break, the Hungry Jacks people are eating the KFC and the KFC are eating the Hungry Jacks. Like they get discounts, but they both do not trust where they work.
Yeah.
It's very rare you'll see a guy from Hungry Jacks eating Hungry Jacks in his break. I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I've ever seen them take food. Like they'll eat directly from the chip thing or they can touch it. But you do not see someone on their break with a cigarette eating one of those fucking burgers. They don't touch it. They'll be shooting across to KFC where they have no working knowledge of what's actually going on in the fridge.
They don't know that Stacey's been scratching her ass and handling the chicken.
Totally. You're going to have to unplug and plug again.
All right, well, let's take a break and do another.
Yeah, we got to keep doing these. I think we should try to do 12 a day.
15